that's my ending thoughts in relation to the game. I have a bone to pick with the medical staff as well, because again, I'm not gonna. Martinelli's injury is an impact injury, but there was concerns about starting the guy already. I personally feel Arteta made his mind up, and with resting players, he thought, you know what, Lacazette isn't gonna play for me at Chelsea. I'm gonna go with Eddie, which could be wrong, or Aubameyang through the middle. Martinelli will be on the bench and involved in some capacity, but for me, they're probably seeing it as, can we get him some minutes in the tank, some 60 minutes, and then obviously he's that much fitter. That gamble didn't pay off. Again, we should have just taken man off in the first half, definitely at half time. And it's like with a bit like Partey, in that Martinelli's been out of football for how long? Martinelli is one of the few players that gets this anyways. You saw his mentality before the game started. You saw his mentality in the game. Sometimes you need to save players from themselves. Is it any coincidence this young and naive man and wants to do well, wanted to play on in the second half and had to come off injured? It doesn't make us look good. It makes your manager, Arteta, look inexperienced. And I have to question the medical staff. They know more about injuries and all the doctor stuff than me, but I just see nonsense. If the medical team have said a man is fit, whether that's Martinelli or Pepe, or Partey or David Luiz, who we've even heard with problems and stuff, who they marked him out against City and against United, and he should have been. If a man's fit, then you're entitled to use him, and to a degree, I think that sets up players for failure. We got to go back to the Bellerin one. We've heard Bellerin under Arteta hasn't been fully fit. As poor as Bellerin is, why are we playing players that are not fully fit? I don't mind them on the bench, and to fans, as fans, we can only assume once they're in the squad, they've proven their fitness to some degree in whatever games, in however minute or duration of the game they're playing. But there is something to be said with the level of incompetence, in my opinion, within the medical team at Arsenal, because Bellerin has played with injuries. David Luiz has played with injuries. Like I said, save Martinelli from himself. Can we really be surprised that Martinelli has come onto the field and had to come off? Save him from himself. Now, how long have we potentially lost him? The benefits are he's still walking, and he did, rather than head straight down the tunnel, he stayed on the field. But how much of this is hurting us? We could have lost the battle today, which again, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not excusing it, but if we look at it without emotion, this cup isn't a priority. I think you can get Europa League, so maybe it should have been, and we should have had more of an intent, but it's not a priority. To which I'd say, what was the point losing Martinelli then? What does it mean? What's the grand scheme of things then? Lose a battle and win a war. You take him off, you might use him against Chelsea, you might have him for that. Partey against Spurs, similar circumstances. This guy is used to playing in the big games. He's come to the Premier League. He wants to play against Spurs. Save him from himself. You've been playing touch and goal with his fitness, and lo and behold, he started the game and he's been injured, and that's contributed to a goal. We've heard with David Luiz, I've mentioned with Bellerin, there's been several other incidences. So what are the medical team doing? If they're signing off man to be fit, then they're setting up Arteta to be failed? Or if they're actually not fit and you're passing them as fit, you can already tell how that's crazy and how that's obviously a recipe for disaster. For me, I do think it's suspect. I don't think they're to blame for Martinelli's one, but I just feel when you're looking at it, it's looking a bit dodgy, and I have to blame everybody, really and truly. I really have to blame everyone. Big up everyone tuned in, people. Big up everyone in Canada and things like that. Hope you lot are locked in. Bro, you lot called me haters, not UTW, but you lot called me haters when I said, bros, this Runnison guy looks like a year 7 playing with year 11s. If his goalkeeping shirt was his coat is too big. When your mum gets you several sizes bigger so it can last, you can't blame mummy for making sure her money lasts. People, how it is. Kids run through things, people. And it's not good enough. Lo and behold, the goalkeeper is meant to be part of a unit with the defense. So when I'm seeing, we're not a unit anywhere, we're in the attacking sense. Our first line of defense, we're not pressing together, and that's why we're being beaten. Our first line of attack with our goalkeeper, there's no options on the ball. We've got players with bad decisions today. Runnison just makes terrible decisions. Away from that, there's people hiding, really and truly. There's no connection in any facet of this of our team. We don't look like a system. We're pressing sync with one man, where if some man are stepping out from the defense, some man are man marking, some man are zonal marking. People don't know what they're doing. And for me, it's meant to be a unit. Your keeper's meant to be vocal. He should be shouting at Kolasinac and Mustafi, get out. The whole team, get out. The players themselves, some men are stepping out. People are playing people on side. It's crazy. Absolute crazy, man. Absolute crazy, man. Absolute crazy. It's like big up yourself, Nicholas, as well, man. Hopefully there's better days, man. I've been saying that for time, brother. Been saying that for time. Absolutely time. So hopefully that is the case, but I'm personally not going to hold my breath. So let's go into some of these tweets that I've found surfaced, people. Apologies. Before I do that, I'm actually opening up another Google tab so I can just keep this one singular tab. So we've got the reaction tab open. Yeah, man. Let's see what this first message is. You know, what's this one? Yeah, look. This is the first time Manchester City have scored four goals away to Arsenal since 1961 when they conceded 5. So that's the first one we've got. Apologies, people. Boy, man, City. Man, I wonder how much in terms of facts City have bagged against us, man. They're quite clinical, and in fact, to call them quite clinical is to be quite disrespectful, really. And truly woeful performance. As you can see here, people, Arsenal's last victory at home against a Premier League team was on the 4th of October. We're now approaching January, which again tells you the mess we're in and points further fingers at those in management and those above Mikel Arteta. You know, it seems like Arsenal are a joke. One inconsistent side. Arsenal have had 6 different captains in their last 6 League Cup matches and 10 different captains in the last 12 League Cup ties. So again, we know definitely as an Arsenal fan, the captain's band is a fashion statement, but at the same time, for me, there's a serious lack of leadership, even coming down to clearing your lines. There's a lack of leadership in taking onus of your future. You know, midfielders standing up to be counted, defenders, fullbacks, strikers, manager. There's a lack of overall leadership and accountability in the playing staff. There's a lack of general accountability with those at the top. So how can I be surprised that we find ourselves in this? And then we're going onto a football field and I'm not seeing any leaders. I'm not seeing people, like I said, with the goal, people are not being told to clear our lines. Some men are pressing, like against Everton. Some men are showing heart, some men are not. It's crazy, people. It's not making any sense, people. Big up yourselves, people. We've got another super chat. Big up yourself, Dow Square One. I appreciate that tenor. DG, like me, you are big on the Halen boys, but is it because they're still playing Wenger ball under the BFG and not this scary Arteta ball, basically? I don't think so. I just think they're in a naive way. They're kind of free from the toxicness of this club. Like, they're not really to blame, and fans recognize they're not really to blame for any of our under the poor form. So I think people give them credit, and I think they're naive. They want to play football, whether it's at Arsenal or elsewhere. It's crazy, man. Shout out to the Halen youngsters. They're the only ones that kind of get it, people. At the risk of this stream starting to lag, I wanted to show this, people. I really apologize if this goes south. But, Mahrez spoke about he was surprised by our keeper, people. As you can see here. I was surprised about the positioning of the keeper. He was so close to the post. See? 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 And luckily, he didn't catch it properly, so it's good for us. What does that tell you, people? Let me come off that. Hopefully I hope that was able to be shown properly, people. I've come off that now and I've actually rather sillily closed it, people, which I apologize for, but I hope that played. And what did that tell you? Mahrez is surprised that he done that, joke man thing, proper joke man. He's not going to make a difference in the sense of he's a good player. We need him. We need everyone to be a leader. We do need Aouar, but why would Aouar leave a Lyon side who's playing quite decent for this shambles? Definitely in January, which won't happen. And also, you would sign him, and there'd be a lack of system in which every player is going to be crippled in that regards. That Mahrez was surprised about the keeper's nonsense, like you saw, people. Big up James Bench. So I did a good little interview with him. Check that out if you haven't seen that already, where we spoke about Arsenal stuff. But he's got a tweet And like he said here, loath to speculate over Martinelli's injury, and Arsenal had one of the best doctors in the business to assess him at halftime. But in the space of a few weeks, that's now Luis Partey and the Brazilian, where they've made questionable decisions over match readiness. So again, there's incompetence. Maybe it's a mixture of the player being a bit forceful and naive, and maybe it's a bit of Arteta's pressure and asking them to put their bodies on the line and not saving them from themselves. Who knows? But like I said, for a team that's meant to be a world-class establishment, for a team that's meant to have first-choice medical men, it's happening too frequently to merely be a coincidence, people. Surely. Surely. Away from that as well, people, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Looking at Shaqwa, Fernandinho made 8 tackles for Manchester City this evening, more than the entire Arsenal team managed combined, which again shows you how timid we potentially are, people. It's crazy, isn't it? I also wanted to tell you, like I showed you with the last one, there's a lot of lip service at this football club. And it's pretty telling. Not Cronkies, big up Barbados. I don't know why I share you like that, but nothing to do with Kieran Tierney. Look at the caption before we played. Focus to then lose 4-1. Joking. Absolute joking. Absolute nonsense. Let's go on Arsenal.com and see if we can delve into the manager's comments. This is a crucial period and we need results. Let's see. I hope this is still sharing. Is this still sharing with you guys, people? Yes, it is. Big up the 611 of you in here, people. Mikel Arteta knows we don't have time to dwell on our Cat Yarabao quarter-final exit. A run of 3 Premier League games in 7 days awaits, starting with Chelsea on Boxing Day, and then we've got Brighton and West Bromwich Albion away from home. Arteta might not be in the position if he continues like this and continues to make bewildering decisions. This screams like someone running out of options. And right now, he said, things have to turn around. This is a crucial moment for us in the season, and we have to do it this week. Obviously, the 2 goals that we conceded against Manchester City put the game into a really difficult situation. The first one was a really soft one, really early in the game. That obviously gives us the worst possible scenario in the situation we are in, a real test. The team reacted well, and after that, we kept trying. We scored a really good goal. We started to be on top of the game for 25 minutes. After that, I think we were the better team. Then in the best moment of the game, we conceded another soft goal. After that, we kept trying. We had a really good situation to go completely through on goal with Lacazette, but we missed a pass on the counter. They scored an offside goal after it was 3-1. I think the game was over. To be fair, it was, but we made our bed and we have to lie in it. I'm really feeling for the players and obviously for our fans, because something is happening every game for different reasons. And if I just type in Arteta, because clearly our Arsenal are not going to bring up all of the stuff and whatnot, and apparently so he's still giving out his comments, so I think it's a bit of a tomorrow thing. But as you can see here, Gabby has a unique energy in a way to transmit his passion of the game. I think he plays the game in a different way to any other player, so it's hard to compare him. So start playing him more. Guardiola said, more than an exceptional human being, Arteta is an exceptional manager, incredible human being, apologies. I think his proposal, I know what he wants to do, you just need to be patient. He's obviously going to back his guy, and we will be patient, but we just want to see certain things. Arteta's apparently said we have to turn it around, people. Press conference, let's see exactly. Big up Football London, because we might actually get to see some comments in relation to this. Let's see what exactly is said. On Saliba's absence, he cannot be involved because he's not in the squad. He's not in the squad. I was under the impression that he was eligible to play in EFL games. No, we made that decision with him, and we'll see what we are going to do in January. So is the plan to loan him out? We are talking about it. Yes. On why Martinelli was sent out for the second half, because he was pushing, saying that he was completely fine, saying that he wanted to carry on and that he wanted to try. He had a scar that wasn't open and he wanted to try, so we gave him the possibility to try. And when he wasn't on the pitch, he wasn't comfortable, so it was an easy decision. Save the man from himself. We know he wants to try. We know the problems, but save him from himself. I shouldn't hear my manager say this. You're the manager. What are you talking about? He was pushing. Is this power league? Take the man off. Take the man off. Because again, I hope in the next 20 to 48 hours, if there is a scan, that it's all right. But it's not making sense. Oh, the infamous bad luck. it is what we are fighting against, but we are going to keep fighting. There is not any other way. It's a really hard result to take, but as well, we have to look at things that can help us for the future. And I have to say, for the young players in a really difficult scenario, they did well. Fair play. On whether Martinelli is an example to the rest of the squad, we've already mentioned that. The rotation of players, he says it was a combination of the amount of games that some of them have played, some injuries that we have at the moment, and players that could not be involved in that, and others because there are players who deserve to play. When asked on Martinez, people, it's no point having regrets or not. And that's true, that's always going to be asked. But at the same time, I think Martinez should have stayed, but the minute the bed's been laid in it, we need to talk about why this poor keeper was brought in as a replacement. If you're not Lionel Messi, if you're not Cristiano Ronaldo, club shouldn't care that you leave. It's all about how you replace, and that's the problem with Arsenal. And he said there were different reasons why we had to do that transaction. We did it, and it's part of the past. Emmy had a really good few months last season. He really helped us. And obviously, when a keeper makes an error, these things are going to come up. But there were 2 errors, really. Probably had a hand in 3 of the 4 goals that we conceded, really. On whether it's difficult for Renison to come back from his error, it is, but we win and lose together. Alex has played other games. We decided to play him tonight for a lot of reasons. That's it. The responsibility is all on us. Okay, the responsibility is all on you. When asked on reflecting on the game, he said a really painful moment again. We started the game conceding really early, a really soft goal. Are you starting off the boys in the right way? After that, in this moment, to get through, that obviously is difficult, but the players reacted, to be fair, and we started to grow as the game was moving forward. We scored a goal, a really good goal, and after that, I think we were the better team for the next 25 minutes. We did have a decent period, but at the end of the day, being good for 45 minutes, being the better team for 25 minutes is not what gets you the result over 90. Neither of us talking about percentages or bouts of possession or the amount of crosses we put in. Fair enough, though. But when we have the best moment in the game, we concede another soft goal, and that makes the game even harder. But still, we kept going. Shout out to Haaland. We had an open situation where we play Laka. Sorry, we had an open situation we play Lacazette through. We missed the pass, and on that counter attack, they scored in an offside position. And again, you knew being on the counter, that being on the transition is in the same way against Spurs and in the same way against Everton is something we had to be wary of. And when you keep seeing what we're seeing, you have to assume that this is by design, not by anything else. We're choosing to make these mistakes by focusing on other things. So again, coaching, again, individual players with poor thingies. I'm not going to talk about Pep being kind. It's irrelevant. On Martinelli's injury, no. It's just a really bad kick on his shin, and it was swelling up, and he was in pain and came off. So again, hopefully we put some ice on that. The swelling goes down in relation to the game on Boxing Day because we're going to need him. Hopefully it's just a bit sore for him. And he said we are going to keep fighting. There isn't any other way. It's a really tough result to take, but we have to look at things that can help us in the future. Not really sure there is anything, people. I think this is it. What is this? He's played a lot of games for us. He hasn't adapted to the league, and that's it. We all make mistakes, and we have to support him. We all make mistakes. I don't think he should be killed for this. There's always tomorrow. He should be allowed a chance to fight. That's just me as my with my manager hat on and my DG devil's advocate hat on. As a fan, first and last game, some man, you only need one game or one moment to show you they're not levels, and I think he clearly shows you that. And not adapting to the league, it's not making sense to me, man. It's not. I'm not going to take that, because then again, it does. If he's not adapted to the league, why are you not playing Leno? If Leno has a knock, I get it, but then why is Leno on the bench? So that tells me as a fan, Leno is fit. It's not like Macy's there or something. So again, this adapting to the league, it sounds stupid. If you're going to adapt to the league, you play him potentially against Newcastle in the FA Cup. I wouldn't even do that, but you do that. Or you play, you played him in previous rounds against Leicester or something, or something like that. You don't play him against City. You played Leno. You even played Leno in the early stages in Europa League. Dare I say, people, did Runnison only come into the first team picture in relation to the Europa League when it became abundantly clear we're qualifying? You want to play your strongest team. This tells me you threw this competition. This tells me there was disregard. This tells me the focus was on Chelsea. Playing devil's advocate, this tells me that this is another bewildering decision. You know, it's always what's going on with Saliba? Why is Mustafi playing? Where's Marie? You know, what's going on with Bellerin? Why ain't Maitland-Niles there? What's Cedric got to do for a chance? You know, why is Eddie playing? Why is Laka dropped? Why up this with Aubameyang? Martinelli this, Saka that, Pepe that, Willian starting, Xhaka this. There's so many, you know, and when there's so many, I have to question, are you making the right decision? Because as fans, we're allowed to think, oh, why is the manager doing this? You know, every fan has that. But when there's so many, there's warning signs, people. There's warning signs, you know. There's warning signs. And he did say, apparently, we're looking at a couple options that we have. Players coming in and out. We'll see what happens, really. It's a really complicated window with the way the football world is. So, again, we're not learning anything new under the sun there by Mikel Arteta, are we, people?